Chip Zdarsky, Jorge Jimenez, and Leonardo Romero pit the Justice League against Failsafe as Batman's friends come to his aid, but Failsafe might be too much for even the world's greatest superheroes and the Bat family to handle. Chip Zdarsky continues his Failsafe storyline by turning the book into a Justice League team-up for a bit, giving him the opportunity to write all of these heroes and breathe his distinct charm and humour into them all, especially Green Arrow, who I can tell Chip desperately wants to write a bit more of, given that he gets a bit of focus in the fight against Failsafe. Like with his Daredevil run, not really focusing on Daredevil all that much and focusing on the characters around him, I like that's what Chip does here, and we get to see sort of the fruits of Batman's paranoia, and Batman even is basically incapacitated for the whole book, humanizing him and stripping him away of all of the Bat-God crap the character often gets bogged down in. His inner monologue is great as well, and I love how human it is, with Bruce admitting to himself he is embarrassed by what he has done here with Failsafe, and he knows what he did is wrong and he needs to fix it. And it's a really nice change of pace from the Batman who can do and achieve anything and always believes he's right in everything he does. Zdarsky also gets into the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh with his backup story this issue that shows Bruce's development of the persona, tying it into what Grant Morrison did to reinvent Zur, with the original version of the character being a Batman from an alien alternate world. He also uses the backup as a chance to pit Batman against Joker again, with an interesting concept of the Joker figuring out that something is wrong with Batman and Batman has been compromised after what has happened to his mind, so Joker himself also becomes compromised, exploring the mirroring of Batman and Joker in a really unique way that I'm looking forward to seeing more of. Jorge Jimenez and Leonardo Romero cover the book in fantastic action-packed artwork, keeping the story moving at a very nice pace. Jorge again gives the main story utterly beautiful looking artwork with his cool action beats and his large-chested character designs, while Leonardo dives into a little more retro Darwin Cook feel for the backup story, helping signpost when the story is set, as well as just giving it like a timeless feel thanks to the way the art is done. Batman issue 128 continued Zdarsky's Failsafe storyline by heading in a very cool direction, broadening the cast of characters involved in the story, along with a great backup that explores the origins of Zur-En-Arrh and Batman's relation to that persona. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Batman issue 128 finds Superman confronting Failsafe as Batman goes over in his head if he ever designed contingencies in Failsafe for the Man of Steel. He soon gets his answer as Failsafe unsheaths two kryptonite swords, prompting Superman to get some distance from the villain. Superman hits him with his heat vision, but Failsafe dives back inside the mansion. Bruce knows that this is just a ruse, finding himself in hell since he knows what's coming and he can't do a thing to stop it. Superman gives chase and Failsafe stabs the Man of Steel with one of the kryptonite swords, which pop out of his back panels. Bruce knows that he's old and slow and beaten, and only his friends can help him before he ends up killing them, as the Green Arrow appears, hitting the robot with an explosive arrow. Martian Manhunter appears, smashing through a wall and knocking Failsafe out of the mansion as Hawkgirl and Black Canary call for Batman and Superman. Dinah tells Kendra that Oliver is looking after them and they need to focus on taking down Failsafe. The beaten Batman meanwhile finds Clark is still alive, telling him about his robot that he designed to take out Batman and Batman alone. Bruce is embarrassed that his youthful paranoia has hurt his friends, but he fights through his fractures to grab the kryptonite shard in Superman, yanking it out and throwing it away as he patches Superman up, falling unconscious on top of Clark. Robin and Green Arrow find them, wanting to get them to a hospital, so the heroes drag them out to the Javelin. Oliver dumps Bruce on the jet, leaving to help the League since he knows they don't stand a chance without him. Green Arrow joins the fray as Tim takes off in the Javelin, trying to contact Oracle and tell her that he has the injured world's finest on board and needs to know where to go. Bruce weakly tells him to head southeast as Failsafe escapes the League. Oliver wants to go after it before it can get to Batman, but Manhunter knows it's not going for Bruce, it's heading for Gotham. In the city, Nightwing tries to contact Oracle as well, but Barb tries to increase the transmission power and override Failsafe's comm blocks, allowing them to talk. Nightwing tells her that Failsafe has come back as the League follow it, attacking the robot again. Suddenly, Hawkgirl is stuck to a building seemingly by magnets, something Manhunter knows is impossible since her wings are made of nth metal. Gun turrets deploy from the windows above, spewing fire onto Manhunter. Canary tries to clear the fire with a scream as the device slams over her mouth and nose, silencing her scream. Oliver races to help her breathe as Failsafe tells him there's enough oxygen being allowed through the device to let her live, just not to scream. Nightwing tells Oracle where they are, learning from Barb that Bruce actually owns that entire block of buildings. Dick realizes that Failsafe lured them into one of Batman's contingencies for the Justice League. Oliver wonders what part of the contingency is meant to stop him and Nightwing as Failsafe attacks, saying that he is going to stop them. Batman meanwhile manages to stand, despite Tim warning that he has internal bleeding and a concussion. Bruce apologizes, wanting to face reality since Failsafe is coming for him and Superman is dying and the world cannot lose him since he's their greatest weapon. He tells Tim to take Clark to the Fortress of Solitude since it has the technology to help him as he activates the jet ramp, telling Tim that he is Robin and he will save Superman, finding himself proud of the man Tim has become, and he doesn't need to worry about him since he'll survive. Bruce dives from the jet and into the cold ocean below, knowing Tim will follow orders and help Superman since he can't afford him looking for him now. Batman falls into the deep ocean, activating a beacon on his belt, signaling Aquaman, who comes to collect Bruce as he passes out. Bruce awakens sometime later in Arthur's care, told that they were able to mostly fix his internal damage and some of the fish are sorting out his external damage as well. He learns that he's been unconscious for 2 weeks and in that time Gotham has fallen to Failsafe. Arthur says that Failsafe is one step ahead of anyone who tries to enter the city and he's created robotic minions who patrol the streets looking for Batman's proteges who still are resisting, while others like Oracle have been captured and brainwashed into helping Failsafe, and Batman is assumed dead by many, but Failsafe constantly searches the world for him. Arthur knows the robot will soon come to Atlantis looking since Failsafe is sure that Batman is alive, using the bat signal to try and call the hero back to Gotham since Bruce cannot stay away from his city. Failsafe meanwhile blows up the bat signal on the top of the GCPD, activating devices all around the city that beam lights into the sky. Bruce asks himself what the plan is here as Aquaman tells him that Failsafe wants him and the world to know that Gotham is his and Batman has to come and get it as Failsafe projects a massive bat signal into the sky above the city.